Higher education for free sounds like a dream come true. But what if we told you that you can get free education plus scholarships on top of that to make your life easier when you're going outside to study? That is only possible in Germany. Today, we want to talk to you about a few scholarships that Germany offers you, which you can easily get. And today I have a friend and classmate of mine who has received one such scholarship for his startup. And today we are going to just talk about and let you guys know how these things work and how to get these scholarships, where you can find them, what are the eligibility criteria for them. Just a normal talk in a friendly atmosphere. Not so friendly, it's hot, but okay. That's fine, I guess. So Niklas, welcome, Niklas Kracht.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you, buddy. And let's talk about, before we get into the scholarships, of course, let's talk about why you chose the degree that you chose, why you chose the university that you chose, and yeah, just general stuff, where you're from. Let's get some introduction.
Yeah, hi everyone, or hi Ronnie. So my name is Niklas, as you already said. I study here in the same program as you, applied entrepreneurship, but I mainly work on my startup called SolaVita.
Mm-hmm.
It's about solar panels, solar generation, and sharing the energy that solar panels generate within shared owned buildings.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's my topic. And I chose to study a degree because I wanted to have a lot of time to work on this topic, to drive it further, to really get into everything I need to know in order to work on my concept. And at the same time have the chance to get a Master's of Science degree, which is really fortunate because in this way I could really focus 1.5 years on this project.
Mm-hmm.
And in worst case, I would still have the security that I would have a Master of Science degree for it.
Yeah.
And it's not for granted. So the chance to work on the concept, to work on your startup while you are studying a full-time study degree was really what sold this degree to me, and also this university, because you don't find it that often that you can have a full-time study degree and still have so much time to work on your startup.
Yeah.
Because both the study degree and the model you're working on, the concept, the startup, it all fits together.
Yeah. One question that popped up in my mind is that you kept saying full-time study degree. So is there a real difference between a full-time study degree and part-time study degree, and how people, view you if you have a part-time study degree?
It's not about how people view you, but it's about, usually if you have a part-time study degree, it just requires you more time to get the credits that you need for your Master of Science or Bachelor of whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get my Masters of Science within 2 years, and if I would do it as a part-time thing, it would be 3 or 4 years, depends on how many credits I do.
So you wanted to get it over with and within 2 years, and also have enough time on the side to work on what you really want to do, your startup.
And I was also hoping that the people that I would get to know here all have the same goals and are from the same startup ecosystem, you could say. And of course, I was also hoping for benefits from that. That was also a point, actually.
Very interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's the same kind of for me why I chose this university, because it was really like practical learning, not too much spent on classes rather than working on whatever that you want to do. And yeah, it was nice. Okay, great. So now let's talk about the scholarship that you got. I know a little bit about that, of course, but we would like to know more. So you got it for your startup, right?
Exactly. I got it for my startup. It's called Gründungsstipendium NRW. Very German name. Basically means founding stipend.
Yeah.
And so I got that. And it was important for me because before I got it, I was working at a bigger company from this region. I guess I don't mention the name. So I was working there as a working student. But when I started studying applied entrepreneurship, I wanted to focus on my project. So I didn't want to stay in that company. But eventually, I still had to pay a rent for some reason. So that was the reason for me where we really had to think about alternatives to work on a startup that's not creating revenues yet. In fact, it wasn't even founded, and still being able to make the money that I need to live from it. So I informed myself, and there's different stipends in Germany. One that I would recommend for everyone that is in a rather early stage of a startup founding process is really the Gründungsstipendium, NRW, because it's not unnecessarily complicated to get in there. So I think you will ask some more questions about that later on. So I won't give away the whole thing right now, but it's really appropriate if you want to
start a startup or something, and and also wanna
and if you want
some
to get started without spending weeks of filling out an assignment to get a stipend or something, but really focused on what you need.
Yeah, that makes sense. You can also put the mic a little bit away from you if it's bothering you.
I like it.
Yeah, you like it? Okay, then keep it. Okay. How did you get to know about this scholarship? Like, did the professors at the university help you? Or did you find it somewhere else? Or did you already know about it from somewhere?
I did knew it before. I found it when I did my desk research, Googling it, Googling options, but it really helped me to get support from the coaches here at the university. They could tell me all the details about it, how to get in there and everything, and that made it pretty easy for me. And also they knew an information about when the next date is until which you could apply for it. So that was also a big point for me, a big benefit.
So you also got some efforts put in by the faculty of the university, and then that's what our course is all about, of course, to make founders or startup entrepreneurs more aware of what are the opportunities, and that's cool. How did you can you describe, let's say, the process of applying for the scholarship? Which website do you go to? Do you remember anything off the top of your head?
Yes, of course. It's a regular website. You will find it easily, Gründungsstipendium NRW. There you also get all the information, way more information that we talk about right here, if you're interested. But there you get to find a document which is called Ideenpapier, like idea paper, and you have to fill that one out. You can also fill it out in English, I think. And what you have to do there is that you explain the problem that you're solving with your startup, how you're trying to make a revenue from that, the status of your startup, whether it's already founded or not, who you're founding with, and also information about yourself and all the other co-founders that you have. And you fill that one out, send it to the organization behind it. For me, it was Jülich. The organization was called Jülich. And when they like your idea, you will be invited to a pitching event. And there you can pitch in front of a jury. But the process to get in there is really to fill out the idea paper and send it to them. And it's pretty self-explanatory, but what you have to prove is that you're really solving a customer's problem, and that you have an idea how to make a startup and a business model out of that. Okay.
And you need co-founders for this.
And that you're the right person to implement it. About your question, you don't necessarily need co-founders. There's the rule that you should be a maximum of 3 people that gets supported. You can also have a bigger founder team,
Okay.
but then not everybody gets financial
Gets
support.
the funding.
Gets the funding, yeah, and that's important. But for example, for me, when I applied for it, I did have co-founders, but they were not interested in getting any money from it because there's a certain rule that you're not allowed to work 14.99 more than 14.99 hours a week while you are getting the stipend. So 15 hours, if you work 15 hours, it's too much, but 14.99 is still okay. However, my co-founders were working full-time in the companies where they were regular employees, and that's why they didn't want to give up their jobs and just decided not to get the stipend. So I only got it for myself. I did talk about my co-founders when I pitched though, and I also wrote about them in the idea paper so they know there's a team behind. But it's not only for teams, it's also for single people.
Oh, okay. That's good. So yeah, and do you have to have certain criterias met, like eligibility requirements to, let's say, you have to have a bachelor's or a master's or something to apply for it?
You have to be at least 18 years old, and you basically just have to have a good idea to get it.
Okay.
And yeah, of course, you shouldn't be working full time. And for most study degrees, you shouldn't be like full time studying because that would be more than 14.99 hours.
Yeah.
For our study degree, it's actually okay.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
It's a specific rule for us, but for most other study degrees, it's not. And it's not just for Germans; it's also for internationals. And yeah, I think these are the main criteria. It's mainly about selling them that you have a good idea and that you are confident that you can implement something.
Oh, that's cool. And what would you say is the duration between you preparing and applying and then getting the actual scholarship?
I can talk about my personal experience. For me, it was from applying a couple of weeks. So the first variable is the pitching events, because when you apply and they like your idea, you're being invited to the next pitching event. However, these pitching events don't happen every week. They happen, I think, once every 2 months or something. And I got lucky because the next pitching event wasn't too far after I applied, so I could get it pretty fast. And then from the time that they tell you, so when you pitch and they like your idea, also in the pitching event, they they have a pitch of I think 6 minutes, and they ask you questions for like 30 minutes. If they like your idea, they will tell you right on that day whether you get it or not.
Oh.
And from that day, it usually takes like 2 months. For me, it was like 2 months until I really got it. You also got to send them some papers afterwards. I could get into more detail about that. But they will tell you, and it's as soon as you get
that's a good system.
They will tell you. However, I heard that some internationals were waiting way longer. I heard about a founder from the UK who still didn't get it, who already pitched a half a year ago or something. Like, there's supposed to be like huge differences when you're an international, from what I have heard.
Okay.
I don't know if this is normal or just a
one-time case.
One-time case, but from what I've heard, this can happen to you if you're an international student. My philosophy with stuff like that is be annoying, try to annoy them and call them and tell them that you really need this. But yeah, I think it's hard to give you like a guarantee how long it takes. Usually like 2 months, but
But yeah, if they tell you on the pitch day that okay, you're getting it, then it's I think it's still way better than making them wait for, I don't know, 2 months or something just to get a reply that no, you're not gonna get it.
Yeah, of course. So you get an instant yes or no when you pitched.
Yeah, that is nice, actually. Okay, so how much does the scholarship actually help you in your livelihood or living expenses, tuition fees or something?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, when I got it, I got 1,000 euros a month. I still get 1,000 euro a month for a duration of 12 months.
Oh, okay.
And it helps you a lot because you can with that money pay your rent, even have some money for food, and if you work a few hours as well, then you can even get more money. So it really helps me a lot. Nowadays it's even more money than €1,000. It's I think 1,200 or something. I've been told they increased it directly after I got it. Pain. But
bad timing.
For you it's better, For you it's good. So it really helps me to really be able to focus and not have to worry about the rent. And also I got a coach, a coach from the university that is responsible for me, and it's also the official coach for my like for the whole process of getting supported by the NW stipend. And he helps me as well. We meet up regularly and talk about strategy and stuff. You don't I would have this coach anyways because he's part of the university, but it's good to have one assigned coach to you. And that's also a consequence of getting supported by the NW stipend. By the way, you always need to have a coach, so that's also a thing.
That is nice that you get a guide in as well. And can you choose who do you want to be your guide?
I just asked my coach and said he would be my coach, and I don't know if I'm sure not everybody can be the coach. I think the coach has to be officially somebody that can say he has the expertise, the knowledge to help you. And
then they appoint him.
And then they kind of accepted him as a coach or her as a coach, and note it for them.
So apart from money, you also get a coach. Remember that. That is nice. What would you say is an okay amount for a student to... it's kind of off topic, I know. But what would you say is the okay amount for a student to survive in Germany?
Money-wise?
Like money-wise, yeah.
I mean, so let's calculate. If I live in Bielefeld, which is near Lemgo, it's a pretty cool city for students. And if you want to have a shared room in an apartment, like a room in a shared apartment, I mean, it's maybe €400 just for living. And then you also want to eat something, I guess. So
maybe.
Total expenses.
Unless you're crash dieting.
I think total expenses to get along. It's good to have €1,000 a month.
Yeah. So it pretty much covers the scholarship covers your living costs.
And still you can work some hours
so
as
15
well.
hours.
So if you want
14.99, not
maximum
15.
4.999, not 999, but 14.9.
Yeah.
But so it really covers that. Yeah,
that's good. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for your scholarship. Did you apply for some other scholarships as well?
What I want to mention about the scholarship, though, you need to consider you get the money for the first 6 months in 2-month periods paid to you. This is the amount of money before tax. You have to subdivide the tax from that, but you have to do it yourself. When you have a job in Germany, you usually it usually happens automatic, but it doesn't. It's not the case if you get the stipend. So you have to do your tax as soon as you get the stipend.
Okay.
And then by the end of the year, have to pay back some money. So calculate that.
Yeah. Okay. Bureaucracy.
It's also and it's also a thing that after 6 months you have to prove that you actually found the company. So you can't just get it for 12 months and
so you have to get it registered as a
registered
proper startup
as a proper company in the Handelsgewerbe, or it must be registered in the register for companies in Germany, and you have to prove that to them, send it to them, and then you can also get it for the next 6 months. Otherwise, the scholarship ends after 6 months.
Okay.
And you also can have a break in between. You just have to tell them. Then you can wait with founding the company. That's important to know.
It's very flexible, I guess. Yeah.
It's flexible. Yeah.
Go on, please.
Now talking about the other stipends. So I also applied to Exist. It's a stipend where you really can found your team, get your team supported, and also the entire startup. So you get costs that actually cover your living costs. You get money that actually covers your living costs, but also the expenses of developing a product. I think it's like roughly 128,000 euros that you get for a duration of a year. And that's harder to get. You have for that you don't have to fill out one single idea paper, but you have to hand in an assignment of like 20. I think the maximum is 26 pages.
Okay.
With all like scientific sources for everything you say. It's like a small master's or bachelor's
like a mini thesis, yeah.
Mini thesis actually.
Yeah.
And also get letter of intents where you talk to companies that say, or potential customers that say that they're willing to cooperate with you or buy your product as soon as it exists, something like that. And for that you don't have to pitch, you only hand in the idea paper. But that's way harder and more bureaucratic because you don't have to just hand in that document, but you have to print it out and print out a lot of other documents about everything you did in your life, and like it's really way more bureaucratic. Way more bureaucratic, and then to scan it, to print it out again, it's a very bureaucratic process, and it takes some time. But you also get huge financial support from that. I did not get, or we did not get the stipend because our company is based on a business model innovation and not really a technical innovation. And this kind of startup stipend is for companies that have a technical innovation and can prove that. And that's what you need to know about the exist stipend. And I also applied for the Green Startup stipend. And the cool thing about that is that it can also be for business model innovations. They should be innovative enough, so they don't want to have the 500th sustainable cup or something. They want to see real innovation as well, but it's less technical.
Like with a climate thing in mind, like a green,
green
and project,
also for green startups specifically. So you have to be ecologically green startup. It's not for a startup that doesn't have this specific focus. What I like about it is that it's way less bureaucratic. Way less bureaucratic. You still have to fill out an idea paper, and also this should, in best case, should include scientific sources and stuff. But it's way less bureaucratic, and you can just fill it out online and send it to them, which is a major plus. It's also 125,000 euros. You can have it over the duration of a year or even 2 years. You can basically tell how you want to get the money.
125,000 euros.
Yeah, for your co-founders. There's also a maximum of 3 co-founders, and it shouldn't be no less than. It should be 3 co-founders. And also then
not more, not less.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And it's pretty cool. And if they like your idea, you get invited to a pitching event as well. So not as it exists, because they don't have to do it, but basically as a green startup thing, same as the Gründerstipendium stipend. And there you can pitch together with some other startups in front of a jury, and you either get it or you don't get it.
Okay.
So that's for green startups. That's the go-to thing if you're a bit further. So what I would recommend to a green startup is to get the Gründerstipendium first, to validate your idea, to really work on it, so you're at a specific level. And as soon as you reach that, you can apply for the green startup and try to get that.
And can you have these, let's say these 3 startups, if you're really good at pitching or your idea is super amazing, can you get all these 3 startups together? No. Together?
You can't get it together. Also, as soon as you received like the Gründerstipendium once in your life, you can never receive it again for any other idea. That's important to know. So only one that you're gonna get, either the green one or the exist. You can have one at the same time. You can split it afterwards, like jump from one to another. That's
Yeah.
okay, but you can't have them at
Have
the
them
same time.
all at the same time.
Also wouldn't work with the requirements.
Yeah.
What's also important to know, like the Gründerstipendium is for companies that either you haven't founded a company yet,
Mm-hmm.
or the company is founded already, but it's no longer than 12 months old
Okay.
and hasn't created any profits yet.
Okay. So it like the early stages of a startup.
yeah. And the Green Startup thing you can also apply for, but you should already have founded something. But the thing is, it's a bit more complicated because as soon as you get the stipend, you officially founded something according to German law, so that's cool.
Yeah.
So you can just found your company on the first day
Yeah.
of the stipend.
Yeah.
That's cool about the Green Startup thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also not for companies that are too mature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know the specific rule right now, but you can Google it.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Okay. That was really informative, Niklas. Thank you so much. Any tips that you would want to give to, let's say, anyone who's trying to apply, and maybe the common mistakes that people make that you have in mind that you don't want people to repeat?
Germany, the startup world is not about ideas, it's about people. People
Mhm.
care way more about you as a person than your idea.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean that you can come up with a shitty idea if they like it personally, but you
Yeah,
have to
shouldn't at
prove
least, yeah.
you have to prove that the team that you have is capable of realizing and bringing to life the idea that you have.
Mhm.
So you should just know you have a problem
Yeah.
that you want to solve, because the idea can change, but the problem that you want to solve must be understandable, relevant, specific, best case urgent, that
Mhm.
you can't live without it. All these kind of things. The idea how you make money
Mhm.
should just prove that you kind of have legit thoughts about how to make money. But this is something that can change. But
Yeah.
the business model can always be adjusted. But you just have to prove that you know what questions to ask yourself in order to establish a business model. That's what
Yeah.
they want to see. That you're somebody that knows which questions, which criteria are the most relevant. And that you have a team that actually, complements each other's weaknesses.
Mm.
They usually want to have one very technical guy who is maybe a bit more introvert, a bit more shy,
Yeah.
who knows how to get the product running. They want to have one guy that loves to understand the customers
Mhm.
and their desires, that they actually solve a problem, and one guy that is into finance and standing on the stage and selling the whole thing.
Yeah.
And usually in Germany you call it hacker, hipster, hustler. You can
Mhm.
Google that model as well. They want to see that you have all the competences
Yeah.
that complement
one
each other
team.
in one team.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing, not just for stipends, but also for investors. Investors invest in people, not in ideas.
Yeah.
And if you have a cool team, you can found anything. So
Yeah.
make sure you found a good team. If you find a good team, make sure you solve a problem or want to solve a problem that is relevant, that is urgent, and so on. I'm
Mhm.
looking more at the camera than at you right now.
No, it's fine.
And if you do that, you have a great foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
exactly.
Okay. Thank you so much, Niklas. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for
And
inviting
thank
me.
you for this wonderful knowledge that you shared with all of us. And I'm sure that people would be really happy and really motivated now for finding their own startup and also applying for certain scholarships that you told them about. And best of luck for your own startup.
Thank you.
I hope you do very well. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today, I guess. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your time. And if you like this, please follow, like, and subscribe. Thank you so much. See you. Bye.